that I feel like connection is more active than passive. And I feel like disconnect, the time where I feel disconnected, it's because I've taken a more passive approach. Hello there, you're listening to the Girl Talk Podcast. My name is Carol.
I'm Kelly.
I'm Tricia.
And we're so glad you've joined us today. Do you ever feel disconnected? That's going to be the topic that we tackle today. Now, you know that if you go and try to turn on a lamp in your house and it doesn't turn on, the first thing you're going to do is what? Make sure it's plugged up,
Yep.
right?
Well, that's
Check
what
the
the IT
plug.
department's going to tell you to do.
Yeah, that's true.
It's not working.
Is it plugged up?
Plug it in,
Yeah.
plug it out.
Yeah.
Tom,
Yes, unplug
help.
it.
Yes, exactly. So that's not the case with us, but it can be. Disconnection is really, I feel like, heightened since the social media era because it gives the illusion of connection, but it's not in real life connection. And so,
Oh, yeah. How many times you've been sitting in a room with somebody and you're playing on your phone, they're playing on their phone. You're not connected to each other at
Right.
all. I've noticed that a lot even in my house.
Yeah.
You know, that, I want to have a conversation with you, but you're on your phone.
but I will say this, you can also be in a room full of people and feel disconnected.
Sure.
Have you ever gone through a season of life like that or felt disconnected yourself?
Sure. Yeah. I think the more things I have going on in my head, like the more I am, like if there's some drama going on in my life that then is consuming all of my thoughts over and over and over again, that's all I can think about, then I can be in a room full of people and feel totally disconnected from what's going on because I'm lost in my thoughts.
Yeah,
What about you,
absolutely. Yeah. It kind of along with that is that distraction of I'm not really connecting with the people in front of me. I'm not really connecting with anybody. I'm in my own head. I'm distracted by my thoughts, that kind of thing. And I've shared with you guys before, some of the loneliest I ever was when I lived in New York City, surrounded by a million people.
Yeah.
And you're moving around them on the sidewalk, but then there's never any interaction. And even the interactions I had were shallow. And so I think it's the depth of connection that makes us feel disconnected.
Yeah, I think part of the reason or part of the problem is when we feel disconnected, we tend to not take a step forward towards people. We isolate even more, and that makes you feel even more disconnected. But I've also been in a room full of people and not felt connected. So I don't necessarily want to, blame it all on social media or all on anything else. But I will say that I feel like connection is more active than passive. And I feel like the time where I feel disconnected, it's because I've taken a more passive approach to communication and connection with other people. Do you find that's true for you guys too?
I would say that I am much more likely to feel disconnected if I'm feeling unhealthy. And that might be kind of along the lines of what you're talking about.
Bit.
Well, when I feel healthy, I'm just going to use that as a catch-all term. It means to me right now that I'm feeling connected with God. I'm feeling positive. I'm feeling like I want to interact with people, that I have something to give, that I have something to receive.
Yeah.
But there are times that I've gone through where I felt unhealthy, where I do want to isolate and I don't feel like I have any more to give, and I can't take on somebody else's thing. And so when I feel unhealthy, then I feel really disconnected.
Are you good at identifying those reasons for your disconnection?
Not until I have a breakdown.
Right.
What I mean is,
I'm not good at that
I'm
either.
going through it and all of a sudden I'm crying all the time, or I lash out at my kids or my husband, and I'm like, whoa, what's going on? So usually it takes some
Like an
kind of a
inciting
breaking
incident.
moment.
Yeah.
Yes, for me to identify that. But then looking back, I can piece together a little bit of what's going on, but I'm not good at identifying it quickly.
Me either. Are you?
Yeah. I mean, yes and no. I think my problem is that I'm afraid to connect sometimes because it means I'm going to have to actually share what's going on in my noggin. And my emotions are like, they seem to constantly be at the just the top of my eyeballs right here, where they could easily like pop out in the form of tears. Yeah. And if I am connecting, that means I also have to share. And then I also have to trust that you're going to handle that you're going to that you're going to be able to take that thing that I'm sharing, and that we can share all of that in whatever circumstance we're in. If I'm in a crowded room full of people and I got stuff going on in my head, and I desperately want to connect with somebody, I can't do it there because I'm going to have to share what's going on in my head.
Vulnerability.
Which means that there's going to be some tears.
Yeah.
Which also means that, that's going to make a party come to a screeching halt.
Yeah.
Right.
So what do you feel is the caution there? Is it vulnerability? What do you think?
I think part of it, at least for me, I can't. For me, one of the things I have found is if I'm routine about making sure I'm getting those healthy conversations with the people I can share with, then I can feel more present in all the situations I'm in because I've gotten the opportunity to
process those emotions.
Process those emotions at a safe time, in a safe place with a safe person. So that I am not feeling the need to do that when those things aren't aligned.
And that, my friends, is why Kelly is a part of this podcast, because I think if it weren't for that, it would be a little unhinged. Because Tricia and I think we're both alike in that
emotional.
We tend to be highly emotive people. Not that you're not, but that you are like, I'm going to schedule a time.
She takes a step back, doesn't she?
Right.
And we take a step forward.
Yeah. Well, and
that's smart.
I think naturally, I mean, when we talk about our nature here, I think as creatives, we naturally wear our emotions a little bit higher on the scale than, say, a planner person. But to know that you still do that is to plan that, because I think I feel safer in those situations, of course. But I often get to the point, like you were talking before, Tricia, about you just get to a breaking point and then you're like, why am I so ill at everybody? And that's usually the like, oh, there's a red light on here, I need to deal with this, like the red light on your dashboard that says, hey, you need to go get your oil changed, right?
Warning.
It's that kind of thing that you need a warning on the dashboard, a light on the dashboard to kind of let you know what's up with that. So how do you identify those reasons for disconnection? How do you, because I think if we can identify them and be mindful about looking ahead, then maybe sometimes we can head those breakdowns off at the pass, and we can see those warning signs before they actually turn into something that could be unhealthy, right?
Yeah.
What do you think those could be?
Well, I know for myself that I really appreciate deep connections with people, a good conversation where I don't just tell you that my kid's going to college, but I'm going to share with you how I feel about it. And then I want to hear what's happening in your world and what's happening in your heart. And I want that moment of sharing and kind of like having the load. Like I'll carry half of your burden, you carry half of mine. That moment of a deep connection, and we're just not geared for that. I don't have a lot of opportunities for those deep connections unless I make them. So I
you have
think
to be intentional.
have to be intentional.
Yeah.
Yes, and like it has to be the right environment, the right person, and sharing your vulnerability.
But I love that you said that, because even though your personalities are different, there's a similarity there that you say, I have to be intentional about planning, which is planning.
It is planning.
Yeah.
It's forethought.
Yeah. Yeah. It's forethought, and you know that you have to go and get to that place. I have a tendency to disconnect when I perform. And let me tell you what I mean by that, because we're in a performance-based industry. I think my personality is lent more to performance. And if I feel like I'm not giving you what you expect, the performance, if you will, that you are expecting, or if I'm not giving you what you need from me, then I'll disconnect. And that is often when I make more jokes and I'm funnier than ever, because that is a protection for me. But I find that is often a time when I'm like, you know what, I'm disconnecting here. I'm unplugging from everything, and I'm just going to make everything about being funny. and about entertaining you and performing for you so that you walk away from the relationship feeling like you have what you need, right?
Can I dig into that for just a second? Because I also have those tendencies, and I've had to identify that, pull back from that if I want to connect. And is it for you, because I think there is some of this for me, a fear of really showing you who I am? Because,
I think it's born in rejection because that has been the experience. Yeah, a lot of the time.
So it's a fear to be real.
It's fear. For sure it is.
I've had
and
that too.
I think I heard a little bit of fear in your response as well, as talking about you need those planned times, those intentional times. Is that fear based, that maybe you will be vulnerable to the wrong person, or is that don't let me put words in your mouth.
No, it's good.
But it sounded like there was some fear there, maybe.
Yeah, I think it's fear of not getting back what I need. So, which might be at the root of what all of us are dealing with.
Yeah.
But for me, if I'm really going to unpack something, I need somebody who is present. And I can't have all the distractions of lots of other stuff going on around. I'm not concerned really so much about the perception, how are you looking at me? What do you think about me? That kind of that's not necessarily what's driving me. It's the am I really going to have the ability to be it? Because once I turn it on, I'm not stopping. If I'm going to turn it on, and I'm going to let it go.
You're talking about emotionally,
like
negative emotions, for example.
Well, just not necessarily even negative emotions, but just that unpacking the real stuff that's going on under the surface of Kelly Brandon. If I'm going to start with it, I want to go deep in it, because otherwise it's just surface, and I don't want to talk anymore about the surface stuff. Life's too short to talk about surface stuff,
right?
There's a place for it,
right? Sure,
but not the place that we're talking about,
right? Yeah, yes. If I'm really going to connect, I either want to, opposite of what you just said about the that you want to come to where we're going to share the load together. I want to come to, if I'm going to need to really connect with somebody, I either want to come to the conversation and listen intently and have you unpack something and let's talk about it and let's spend some time connecting together on the thing that you're dealing with, or I want to come to the conversation and I want to connect about the thing I'm dealing with. But to me, it ends up being too disjointed of a conversation when we both have things going on. So sometimes I like that, and that's part of that, it's way too many words that I'm using, but that's part of what is in my head when I'm talking about finding that safe place and that safe time and that safe person.
Yeah.
I have a tendency to not talk. I'm either going to listen or I'm going to talk. But doing both of those kinds of things, if we're dealing with two drastically different kinds of needs, doesn't work well for me, because my default is to go into the listening.
Yeah.
So if I need to be heard, I can't do the listening, because that's my default. My default is going to be to, go into counselor, not necessarily counselor mode, but that listening counselor mode. And
where you
can't
ask good questions.
Yes, I can't be a sharer and a listener in the same conversation.
That's a very valid point. Very valid point.
If I'm coming to you with a thing, I want you to I just need you to help me with the thing, I can't then help you with your thing in the same moment. It needs to be about me for just a moment, because I need to vomit it all out, and I need to share, and I need to.
But that's the kind of friendship that you want, because that's the friendship that goes, ooh, I'm going to focus on you right now.
Yeah.
And then later on, it might be, I need you to focus on me. Right. But that push-pull, that sharing, that is a healthy friendship.
And I love focusing on other people. That brings me so much joy to listen to other people's stories. I just can't do it simultaneously.
And I feel like that's pretty, as I think about the deep relationships in my life, I feel like that's pretty common. It doesn't happen, or it hasn't in my life, often when two friends are going through really hard times at the same time. It's usually an ebb and flow of different kinds of things, so that I think you're exactly right, because you are all in. When you're listening, you're all in. You're not thinking about yourself.
Right.
And then when you are talking, you then are all into that conversation because you're trying to process through. So that makes perfect sense.
And as humans, we have a tendency to want to talk about ourselves often.
Oh, sure.
And so I have found, and this is sometimes where you just have to, again, find the right person, the right time, the right place. The conversations end up, oh yeah, I went through that same thing. Here, let me tell you my story. And so then the person you're talking to then starts doing all the talking. Makes it about their story, which is also fine. I mean, it just doesn't work if I'm going to need to, if I'm needing to connect with you because I have a thing I need to really process, it's not going to be helpful for me to then shift into I'm going to be all into with the listening.
I get that. Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. Okay, I want to ask you another question here. Do you feel like disconnection with other people and disconnection with God are related?
I do.
Yeah.
Yes. I definitely do.
Yeah. Talk about that just for a minute.
For me, if I'm not connected with you because I don't want to, I'm hiding some of myself from you. It's the same stuff I'm going to want to hide from God.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Because if I'm going to sit and process my feelings with God, or if I'm going to sit and process my feelings with a friend, I'm still processing feelings, and sometimes that just is painful. It hurts sometimes to process thoughts and feelings and to get into all of that. And so I will back away even from having a conversation with God about it because I don't want to feel the feels.
Yeah.
Yeah. I get that. And for me, it's, if I'm being shallow with other people, it's probably because I've been shallow with God, and probably I need to repent from something. And so I'm not really addressing the elephant in the room. And so therefore I'll do my devotion, check the box. Yeah. And then I'm just not in a good place. And I want to be in a good place to deal with other people. I don't like what you referred to talking about where somebody says something and then somebody else says, "Oh, me too," and then takes over the conversation. That's not what I like. That's not what I'm suggesting in terms of connecting. I just think connecting with other people, you have to be able to know what the other person's going through. I think that the open door, not like I'm going to hijack the conversation, but in a way where you have to know that person is also vulnerable and willing to share with you.
There's a trust.
There's a trust there.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
I see what you're saying.
I really dislike, and I don't want it to be, I don't like anything to do with the hijacking of a conversation by somebody.
Yeah, I don't think anybody does.
Yeah, that's a terrible thing to experience, and it's a terrible thing to do, and I've done it before. And you almost know you're doing it. The second you sort of do it, then you kind of, wait a minute, I'm doing that. But it's often a tendency. But yeah, it's the shallow connection with God that oftentimes will then prompt me to have shallow connections with other people.
So let's talk a little bit on the positive side about how do we find our way back. How do you find your way back to connection with God? How do you find your way back to connection with other people? What would you say are steps that she could take to kind of...
Gosh, for me, it really is just acknowledging what I've done and just being honest with God, just a flat out honesty. I know I said the wrong thing. I was worried. I use the word repent. And that's a churchy word. We've talked about it before. But just being honest with God about the struggles that I've had then allows me to have a freedom to talk to Him about other things too, which then I think takes those steps back to be able to be in a healthy place.
Yeah.
So acknowledging what I've been hiding.
Yeah, acknowledging what you've been hiding. What would you say, KB?
I think oftentimes the times I find myself most disconnected is when I get busy. The busier I am, the more disconnected I am from the people, from God. And so the way to fix it for me is to flip my schedule upside down, remove some things, stop being so busy, but then also schedule those important connection moments, make sure that I'm giving the time and attention that I need to my time with the Lord, giving my time and attention to the girlfriends that I want to invest the most in, that, it's that I have to just schedule all that kind of stuff for me. So
prioritize.
Yes, prioritize so that I'm not just getting I'm not just doing the doom scroll, or I'm not just letting myself get super busy with other activities.
Yeah.
And we don't drift towards connection either.
No.
You know, we've talked about how you don't drift towards holiness. You also don't drift towards connection. You drift away from it. And I feel like if you don't have those times, intentional times when you want to connect with others, that won't just magically happen.
One of my best girlfriends, we've been getting together for years and years and years, once a month for ladies' night. I mean, it's been 16, 17, almost 18 years probably.
That's wonderful.
That we've gotten together almost religiously once a month. We've missed a few, obviously, but once a month. And we don't leave, date ladies' night in this month without scheduling next month's.
Oh, that's good.
Because we both know if we walk away and say, let me just text you sometimes, ain't gonna happen.
Yeah.
Like, it's just not gonna. All of a sudden, our schedules are gonna get filled up. So to me, that I have to be forward thinking and planning that time.
Yeah, that's good.
And scheduling it.
Yeah.
Because I'll forget.
Well, your schedule gets hijacked.
Right, yes. And then all of a sudden I look up and it's been 2 months and I'm like, I miss my girl. What happened? It's why am I disconnected? Oh, that's right, because we forgot to schedule the next ladies' night.
Yeah. We're made for connection.
Yeah.
And so we feel it if we're not.
Absolutely. So if our friend is feeling disconnected today, what would be the practical steps that you would give her to get back connected?
Prioritize that connection with God. This is what I've had to do. And that can start with worship, just listening to a worship song. And then if there's something that you're holding on to, something that you're hiding or trying to kind of gloss over with God, it's a good time to just unearth that sucker and just be flat out honest.
Yeah.
And I think once that happens and you feel good, you're going to want to connect with a friend, another person.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
so good.
Journaling too is so good. I mean, it's
good and it's bad. I'll just say
it's all the things.
It's all the things.
I go back and I read some of my journal entries. I'm like, man alive, if they didn't think I was crazy before, these will be so much proof.
Yeah.
Have we decided to burn each other's journals?
Yes,
if something ever happens to us.
But journaling is a good exercise. But for me, sometimes it can be, I don't know about you, but sometimes I write things that I didn't even know I was feeling. And sometimes that's scary.
Yeah.
Like, have you ever written anything down and you're like, I don't, oh, wait, yeah, maybe I do feel that or think that or whatever. And I think journaling also helps you identify some of those reasons that you may be disconnected. It may identify some of those reasons why you did the disconnecting in the first place.
Yeah. I also think, there's so many great journaling prompts that you can get. So if you don't even know where to start, like I don't even know what to open my journal and start writing about.
Yeah.
It's like I don't even know where to start. If you have just a journaling prompt of some sort, and you can get them on Google. You can get journaling prompts anywhere.
Yeah.
Find one and then let that be the starting point to say, okay, this is what I'm just going to start. I'm going to start
somewhere,
right? And I'm going to start writing all about this, and then see where that takes you.
I even a couple of months ago, I was feeling very disconnected, and I ordered. There's a journal online, and I mean, it doesn't matter where I got it, but anyway, it just you write one page. It asks you one question, you respond to that question in one page, and then you're done.
Yeah, great.
And there are some days that I wrote 2 sentences, and then there are some days that I ran out of room, writing. Yeah. And so, don't look for the perfect question; just start somewhere.
Yeah. Sure.
Yeah, and sometimes that stuff has a way of working itself out.
And sometimes that's the first step in reconnecting is sometimes reconnecting with yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Reconnecting with your own thoughts, and then take that next step forward and use that to reconnect with God, and then take it the next step forward and use it to reconnect with a girlfriend. But connecting with yourself and going, what am I really thinking about right now? And why do I feel lonely, or why do I feel disconnected, or why do I feel anxious, or why do I feel, I don't even know. So I don't even know where to start. So a journal prompt.
You remember morning pages?
Yeah.
Have you heard of morning pages? That was something I got in a book, and I think you had read the same book. And this is just an open door, right? This isn't necessarily a spiritual practice, but it's a good open door. First thing in the morning, even before they say even before you get out of bed, but I always had to go to the bathroom. But you take a piece of paper and a pen, and you just write 3 pages of the first thing that comes to your mind. And it might be, my bed is warm. Really want coffee. What am I doing today? Oh, I forgot I had that appointment. The last time I went to the doctor. Yeah, right. 3. But when you do that, it was shocking to me every time I did it. You start to see things, and I hadn't even connected with myself about those things.
Yeah.
It's a way to release the filter that we put on during the day. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, that might be something to try if you're feeling kind of like locked up and stopped up. Give it first thing in the morning. Just write down 3 pages of what comes to your mind. And half of it may not even make sense. Like, I'm holding the pen. Yeah. What am I doing today? And then the next thing you're going to go is like, I'm lonely. That's kind of how it kind of unearths.
Yeah, and we didn't even talk about disconnected from myself, but I think we have just in this discussion uncovered that as probably the first place that we...
First step.
Yeah, and we get so busy, and we, busy is the badge of honor of the day. Mm-hmm. You're not productive if you're not busy, right? And we've believed that lie, and so we get too busy and we disconnect from ourselves. So we don't even know what we're thinking or what we're feeling. Mm-hmm. We just are going through the motions of everything. So disconnection with yourself. Try the free writing is a great exercise. Prayer, always a great exercise. Just sitting with God. Listening to worship music, sitting with a girlfriend, all good things to get connected. And if you've got suggestions or things that you've tried that have worked for you, we'd love to hear all about them. You can email us at girltalk@thelightfm.org. Love hearing from you. We do a happy dance every time we get an email or Facebook page. We love Facebook page. And so if you want to check in there, if that's easier for you, we'd love to hear from you there. Don't forget, like and subscribe this podcast. It just helps other people learn about the Girl Talk podcast. And that is so they will hear the good news of the gospel of Jesus Christ, which is why Girl Talk exists. So if you do that for us before you leave, we sure would appreciate it. And you know what? We're going to save you a seat next time we gather around these microphones for the next Girl Talk podcast.